So today I'm going to be talking about the one habit that I picked up that changed everything for me as far as my career and even my life goes. After looking through my Apple Notes from last year, I was able to realize that I wrote roughly 1,000 words per day for 120 days in a row. So this is a habit that I recently picked back up a couple months ago, and this is what has led to me creating weekly YouTube videos and share more ideas with you guys as I learn. In years past, especially leading up to this point of starting to write every day, one of the biggest struggles that I had was having lack of clarity for my life and what I wanted my future to look like. I had experience from working at an agency for 5 years, and I had other things in life that I was learning and other skills that I was building, but I just didn't know how to really bring these ideas to fruition. When challenging myself to write every single day, I was forced to make sense of the ideas that were in my head. I was recently listening to a podcast with a couple of my favorite entrepreneurs, Ali Abdal and Nathan Barry, and they were talking about the importance of writing every single day and even specifically 1,000 words per day. Nathan talked about his story of writing 1,000 words per day for 600 days in a row, which is just insane. And he even said that one habit built his entire career. From this one habit, he talked about how he was able to create tons of newsletters. He was able to publish 3 self-published books. And then he was also able to grow an email list. He quoted in the interview that one habit was absolutely insane for me, which I just love that. Ali later talks about in the podcast how he wants to implement this habit into his own life, as it would help him get closer to pretty much every one of his goals. I first learned about this idea when I was listening to a podcast episode with Nathan Barry and Sean McCabe, and I was listening to this back in, I think it was October of 2022. And at this time, I was going through a transitionary season of life where I had recently left my job doing photo and video work, and I was looking for a new career path, but I had no idea what that looked like at the time. I knew I wanted to create my own business, but really didn't know what levers I needed to pull in order to make that happen. After listening to that podcast episode and learning about how that habit changed both of their lives, I was really encouraged to start doing it myself and see what an impact that it would make. After looking through my Apple Notes from last year, I was able to realize that I wrote roughly 1,000 words per day for 120 days in a row. So that equaled about 4 months of consistent daily writing, and I wrote anywhere from about 20 minutes to an hour and a half during those sessions. Some days this equaled 1,000 words or more, and other days it was a little bit less. So this is a habit that I recently picked back up a couple months ago, and this is what has led to me creating weekly YouTube videos and just having enough content ideas that I can put out weekly content and share more ideas with you guys as I learn. Because for me personally, really this whole channel and everything that I do is just documenting the things that I'm learning and just sharing it out into the world. And hopefully that can encourage you guys or to help you learn if you're in a similar situation. One of the biggest things I was worried about when I first started this habit was thinking that I would run out of ideas and things to say. But I found that I would constantly find myself pulling ideas from books, podcasts, conversations with friends, or just personal real-world experience that I could then share and expand upon in my writing sessions. I like to think of it as input equals output. So the things that you're consuming and intaking, those can then be generated and turned into ideas that you can expand upon through your writing. A very simple way to do this that I've been trying to adopt is just writing about the things that I learn each day. This allows you to think and ponder on the idea and make sense of it in your own life. And then once that idea is written down in your own perspective, it can then be taught and shared to others to encourage them, equip them, or educate them about something in their own life. Through this practice, I was able to discover what was possible because of writing. I used to think writing was just for professors and students and authors, but through writing, I've learned so much about myself, my craft, and what I want my business to look like. Although doing this habit every single day is not always easy, I've found that it's always worthwhile. For me personally, this habit typically looks like coming up with an idea the day or night before, or just creating a bank of ideas in an app like Notion. And then I will pull one idea from that idea bank and expand upon it further in a writing session. I typically tackle this habit by waking up as early as I possibly can, chugging a glass of water because that's just what I do, and then I open up my laptop and begin typing away. I personally found that doing this right away in the morning as early as possible without doing anything beforehand was the most productive way for me to write. And I just feel like the ideas flowed. I didn't have any other things distracting me during this time. It was always quiet. I've found that undistracted quiet is crucial for the most optimal writing sessions for me. So for me personally, that looks like finding a quiet place in the house or apartment or coffee shop if you can get away from the noise there, and just really getting in the zone, writing out as much as you possibly can, and just spilling all your thoughts out onto the page. Also, I sometimes use music for supplementing my writing sessions. Not always, but I do find that if I'm in a slump, putting on some good tunes will usually help. Here are a few of the things that this habit has allowed me to personally achieve: gain self-confidence, overcome limiting beliefs, and for me personally, that's perfectionism and doubt typically; become a better writer, of course; gain clarity, develop vision, generate new ideas, and share more of my work with the world. One of the biggest things for me is I always need to remind myself that every day of writing does not need to be a masterpiece. If some days this habit feels difficult, which for me that happens pretty often, I just begin writing and allow the ideas to flow. There's a principle of productivity that I love to keep in mind, that it's very difficult to start something, but once you've started, it's often difficult to stop. James Clear said it very well in a quote that says, "It's rarely doing the work that is hard, it's starting the work. Once you begin, it's often less painful to continue working." This definitely applies to me in my writing habit because it's often difficult to wake up early and start typing away. It's just not the first thing you want to do in the morning, but every single time that I do it, I'm so glad that I made it happen. And even if it's not perfect, I'm always proud of the thing that I wrote that day. Another huge thing is that if you struggle to create content, especially consistently, or if you often find yourself running out of ideas, writing every single day is probably the missing puzzle piece to make that better. Because if you think about it, writing is the foundation of every single piece of content. If you have a ton of ideas written, which this habit allows you to do, you can then branch out and turn these writings into various other forms of content, such as blog posts, podcasts, videos, newsletters, courses, ebooks, or whatever works best for you as a creator. For me personally, this is how I created roughly a year's worth of email newsletters in the 100 days that I first began writing, because so many of those ideas were worth sharing that I was able to just schedule them out, break them down, and edit them to work throughout the whole year. It's really pretty crazy when you write this often how much content you find yourself being able to use. I truly believe that this is one of those things that if you start and continue it, it will change your life, whether that is just for your personal sake, your business sake, or just clarifying things in your head and getting rid of brain fog and just creating clarity through daily writing. I also find that when I do start writing and have a streak going, I just build that much more confidence in myself to continue keeping up with it every single day. So it makes it a little easier once you get started to continue the momentum and continue to build and generate ideas and clarity in your mind as you continue to write about various things. I will have a link to the Notion template that I use for my daily writing down in the description if you want to duplicate that and use it for yourself. If you guys have any questions about daily writing and how you can implement it into your own life, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it was good. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful to you and maybe even encourages you to start this writing habit. Make sure to hit subscribe if you want to follow along for more, and I will see you in the next video. My name is Eric. Peace.